guitar enthusiasts of every stripe and description. It's Steve, the original Guitar Nut, and welcome to episode 34 of Guitar Nuts Anonymous. It's been a couple weeks since I last spoke with you. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving holiday if that's something you celebrate. And if not, I hope you just had a good couple of weeks. Fair enough? So, what's up? With me here locally, Ray Gun, my 80s alt cover band, actually had 2 gigs in 1 week, which doesn't happen very often. We played the night before Thanksgiving, that Wednesday before, as well as the Saturday after. Those photos you saw in the beginning of the episode were from those 2 gigs. Well, actually, a couple of those photos were also from our Halloween gig, I believe, but it doesn't matter. They're pictures of Ray Gun, and a lot of viewers have asked to see some photos. Also asked to see some video, some live video of us playing, and I'm working on that. We've got tons of it. It's just a matter of figuring out how to go about, well, let's just face it, I'm not all that technically savvy when it comes to this stuff yet, but I'm working on it, you know what I mean? I've only been doing this for a couple of years now. Anyhow, and of course, you're probably wondering, gosh, Steve, it's been a couple of weeks. What's the problem? Well, we're in the middle of the last big burst of work, jobs at my work site before the long, slow slodge of December, January, February comes when there's practically no work at all. So I have to take every bit that I can during these good periods so I can set some cash aside to survive the not so prosperous months. So that's what's been up. I've just been working a lot. No famous people to allude to in the last couple of weeks, unfortunately, but what are you going to do? One of my colleagues drove John Cleese, so that was cool. I wish it could have been me. I'm a huge fan. Who knows how long he'll be around? He's in his 80s now. But anyway, what else can I tell you about on a local level? Oh, my dear friend, where was my brain going? Where was I going with this? Oh, my dear friend Tom Templeman. He finally received his IYV Inian Vina Super Rick 12 string, and we're going to do a remote sort of a mini episode from his house reviewing it. He already had the tuners replaced and new pickups put in. I believe he went with some sort of double lipstick pickup Dan Electro type humbucker things that are splittable. And from what I understand, he couldn't be much more satisfied with his purchase. So look forward to that. Speaking of dear friends who are having instruments made, my dear friend Gavin Meaden from the Big Smoke of London is having a custom bass made. And he sent me a couple of pictures of the work in progress. I'll share it with you with his permission, of course, once it's finished. It's very distinctive, and I wish him the best. I hope it comes out great. It's a cool thing to have something built from scratch, I guess technically I had this built from scratch. I got a hold of the seller on, AliExpress and said, hey, I really like your design, but I want this, and this changed, and, well, there it is. How good is it? It's at least mid-level Epiphone quality, which is more than good enough to gig with, and it certainly looks the part. What else? Oh, the greater world of guitars. Well, moving into the holidays, I saw lots and lots of so-called Black Friday specials that suspiciously seemed to be the same price that the item was the day before. Just somehow the original price was suddenly marked up so that they could mark it back down to the price that it was at the day before anyway. Yeah. One big exception though, Fender, specifically at Fender.com. They were having some smoking deals. I saw a bunch of stuff going for 30 and even 40% off. For instance, the superb Made in Japan Aerodyne series guitars and basses, 40 off. I don't know how many they have left or if they're still doing it, but this was as of yesterday. They still had some fantastic guitars. Well, anybody that knows anything about import guitars knows Japanese, that's the cream of the crop. It doesn't get better. There's a reason why Gretsch has the tie-in stuff done in Japan, for instance, along with Ibanez and Charvel and ESP, and let's just be honest, the Japanese take great pride in their work and they're very serious about it. And as I understand, it's getting to be that way in Korea as well. So everything moves up, you know. The rising tide raises all the boats to varying degrees. So yeah, if you're interested in the Fender Aerodyne series or any, you know, go to fender.com and take a look. As far as I know, a lot of the stuff is still on big sale. They're just trying to clear some things out, and the deals are just smoking. Now, speaking of Fender, Fender Jr., while I was researching for, you know, this episode to talk about this, I saw that they were offering a couple of limited edition special finish classic vibe Jaguars. The biggest problem I would have in buying one of these, which by the way we're selling for $399, which is actually cheaper than the regular price of the standard classic vibe Jaguar, which are usually $449. The biggest problem I would have is choosing between the gorgeous shell pink, which game over, they're sold out anyway, or the equally gorgeous but different vintage sparkle silver. There's still some of those available when I checked. No, I'm not buying one. I need another guitar like I need the proverbial hole in my head. Not that that's ever stopped me before, mind you. But, no, I'm not buying one. But they are gorgeous, and if you decide to buy one, send me a photo of you smiling and holding it, you know. I sure can't blame you, because it's a great deal, and they're gorgeous guitars. Who else has some new items? Ibanez has a new baritone, kind of a blackout thing. Here's a photo of it. It's a long scale. I think it's 28 inch, like most Ibanez baritones. It's all blacked out, very tough looking, very metal. I thought it was kind of, you know, cool. Spark, Positive Grid. The guys that make the infamous Spark practice amps. You know, I bought one, love it. Bought the wireless foot switch for it, love it. Only used it for one gig, an outdoor gig last summer, because I had to hook it precariously through another amplifier's effects in, and it was just kind of a pain, to be honest. I just kept thinking, why couldn't they offer this in a way that it could run through just a cabinet, you know, or something like that? Well, guess what? Positive Spark did exactly that. They have a new $279 Spark cab, which I think only has, was it 8 or 10 inch speakers? Yeah, I know, I could have researched. I think they're 10s and a couple little horns. But it's supposed to be 140 watts, takes a direct signal from your Spark, and allows it to be stage worthy. And I think they're going to sell a boatload of those, especially this season. It's a good price, it's a good product. I mean, on paper, it's a good product. I can't speak from experience because I haven't tried one yet. But great idea. So last but certainly not least, let's talk about everyone's favorite redheaded stepchild, Gibson. Gibson actually has introduced a few new things. Easy for you to say. Some of which are somewhat controversial, some not so much. First, they released a line of custom color SGs, which I'll show you a picture of here. Cute. You know, we got a kind of a peachy melon one, and we got a TV yellow, and a couple of bursts, and yeah, they're nice. You know, by all accounts, when I've seen Trogley and whatnot, they all say they're very, you know, great buys. So if you're into that, jump on board. If you have a spare $20,000 rattling around in your pocket, and you happen to just have a hankering to spend it on a Adam Jones guitar because you just can't get enough of that tool, they're offering the Silver Burst Custom Shop Adam Jones Flying V. I couldn't care less. I'm not a huge fan of Silver Burst. I'm not a fan of Adam Jones. Couldn't name any of his songs if you held a gun to my head. But I know plenty of people are, and I'm not disparaging them. That just clearly was never been my bag, so whatever. But yeah, $20,000. So yeah, run right out and grab one. Hell, grab two. It comes with a case. What a value. But the big controversy is Gibson Jr., which of course is Epiphone. It's not enough that they have Kirk Hammett from Metallica and now have his Flying V's and his $50,000 Greenie replica and the $20,000 Greenie replica from the custom shop. Now, oh, and before I forgot, the $3,500 Gibson Standard Series Greenie. They now have an Epiphone Greenie. And there are two really big points about this particular guitar that are getting everyone's attention. One being, they actually are using the Gibson open book headstock for the first time on an Epiphone since 1982/83, when they had the so-called specials and spirits, which came out of the Kalamazoo plant briefly. I used to own a Spirit. My brother has it now. Former bandmate of mine had one of the specials that I found him in a pawn shop for $150. Should have bought it myself and held on to it, but who knew back then? So yeah, the open book headstock, and the other thing, a street price of $1,499, making it, I believe, the most expensive modern day Epiphone yet. Pretty damn pricey, especially considering that virtually the exact same guitar without Kirk's name on it and with the standard Epiphone Kalamazoo headstock sells for about $999. Their 59 reissue inspired by whatever they call it. Is it worth it to you to spend the extra $5? Maybe. Personally, if I was going for the Peter Green vibe, I would just buy the $999 job, get a reverse wound neck pickup, do the whole, shebang, and Black Magic Woman and albatross myself into ecstasy. But that's just me. If you're going to buy one, let me know in the comments down below, which is a great segue to me saying, yes, I want your comments. Comment down below. I've been getting lots of comments. They've actually been mostly positive lately, probably because I haven't featured any Gibsons. But a lot of new subscribers. We're encroaching on that magical 1,000 subscriber mark, at which point I can officially become monetized and make several pennies a year off this show. And potentially even get contacted by sponsors and things. I don't know how quickly they jump on you when you get there, but I do know, having watched a few videos from other YouTubers and talked to a couple actually, that the first 1,000 subscribers are the most difficult. After that, there's a little bit of a snowball effect that starts happening because you get featured more often, you get seen more often, and as long as you have decent content and you're good with your thumbnails, you should grow steadily. Of course, in a perfect world, you'll hit on some kind of a, what's the term that they use, a viral video, and you'll explode. But you really can't engineer that. But I'm happy to grow slowly. We're a great community here, nearly 1,000 of us. I never thought that was going to happen. So hey, we are what we are. So comment below, and of course, all the other things. Subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Share the videos, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, go tell it on the mountain. I say it every time, it gets old, right? Yeah, all the things. So that's everything I had to say about current events, both personal and in the world of guitar. Not a lot of new items being released for the holidays, but, and not so far, at least, not a lot of what I would call really amazing deals, apart from those few at Fender. Maybe as we get closer to the holiday, a few things will pop up, but traditionally the big sales happen right on Black Friday, and there really wasn't that much to talk about. So we'll see. Who knows? So brings us to the major subject of this episode, which is the future of this channel. Obviously, I don't intend on going anywhere since I'm finally reaching the magic 1,000 subscriber mark. But I am embracing my electronic musician side a lot more, especially in the coming year. And I'm trying to figure out how to go about incorporating that into my YouTube workflow. Now, I could start a second channel, which would put me back down at 0 subscribers and have to dig my way up. Or I could just make this channel multiple shows, like every other channel you have on television, on cable, on satellite. You have a channel with different shows. So what I have in mind is to continue having Guitar Nuts Anonymous, as close to weekly as possible, but as I've proven, who knows. But also having a second show on the channel, which will tentatively be entitled, what's it entitled? I should know this. I should have written it down, shouldn't I? OCD EM Theater, which stands for Obsessive Compulsive Disorder Electronic Musician Theater. All of which, pretty good description of me. Premise being what happens when an obsessive compulsive guitar collector decides to embrace electronic music in a very big way. And I'll be reviewing gear and showing my workflow and talking about gigs with my future project that I intend to put together with my wife. And it'll be interesting. Now, I realize the majority of you watching this are only going to tune in for the GNA episodes. That's fine. Those of you who tune in for the first time for the OCD episodes might see this and go, oh, well, that's, I don't care about guitars, whatever. And then there'll be a handful of you out there that no doubt will watch both. If for no other reason than you just find me entertaining. And more power to you. So, I'm going to introduce OCD very soon. Maybe not until the beginning of the new year. In fact, probably not until the new year. But it's going to be all things electronic music, specifically DAW-less, meaning no computers involved. I'm a hardware guy. I'm not old school in so much as I have to have synthesizers that patch together with cables, but I don't want to cheat as I see it. I guess some people would say using a drum machine is cheating, but whatever. I don't want to use a computer. I'm not going to appear on stage with a laptop. Just like now, out of sheer pride, I refuse to appear on stage with Ray Gun using a tablet for lyrics or crib sheets taped to the floor. I make a point of always knowing all my parts, both vocally and on my guitar, bass, keys, whatever it is I'm playing at the moment. And that's not going to change. So, off on a tangent. There I go. See ya. So, if you're interested at all, even if it's just morbid curiosity, stay tuned for OCD EM Theater. And unlike this show, where I tend to go through a never-ending assortment of interesting shirts, although this particular one is far from interesting. Nice background for the guitar, though. For the OCD episodes, at least until I get hot outside, I intend to always wear this lovely, distinctive, Dayglow green Roland TR-808 drum machine sweatshirt. This will be like my sort of like trademark for the show. Just because. So for the very first episode, I will no doubt wear that for the title thumbnail, and hopefully people will come to recognize me. At least the people that watch that show will come to recognize me from that sweatshirt. It's worth a shot. I got nothing to lose. And I will try to get maybe a t-shirt in the same color with the same Roland logo on it for the warm months. We'll see, because I'm sure as hellfire not going to wear that sweatshirt in the summer in Tennessee. Yeah, again, I ramble, but that's who I am. You knew that when you tuned in if you've ever been here before. So what else do I have to say? Not a hell of a lot. I hope you're having a great season. We're going into the winter. It's going to get cold. Remember, this is a little public service announcement here. You have hollow body, specifically guitars, and definitely acoustics. Pay close attention to the humidity levels in your house while you're running your furnaces, heaters. It can get real dry real fast, and your guitars can crack. And even the solid bodies and semi-hollows, there's a real good chance you're going to pick up your guitar one day, give it a strum, and find that it's not only out of tune, but quite sharp, because as it dries up, it tenses and shrinks, and yeah. So keep things moist and humidified as much as you can. You've got, some nice old vintage acoustics or something. The last thing you want to do is pull one out of the case and see a big old crack down the finish, or on the top through the wood, which can actually happen. In fact, it's fairly common. Anything you can do to avoid that, I would highly suggest it. So that's it for now. I'll be talking with you again very soon. We're going to talk specifically in probably the next episode about the Premier Guitar Magazine annual Christmas stocking extravaganza, which is a yearly drama that I am part of every year and have been for the last nearly a decade now. And it's a lot of fun. It is what it is, and I think you get a kick out of it. You might even, I doubt you'll have a chance to get involved because by the time I do the next episode, it'll already be over. But I'll share with you what I come up with. Is that cryptic enough for you? Yeah. Anyway, till next I talk to you. Stay cool. Easy enough to do when it's freezing outside. Stay frosty, which will happen if you stand outside long enough. Be good to yourself and others, and not just because it's that season. Let's do 365 and 366 every fourth year, shall we? Let's always do that. Take care of yourself and others, And until I see you next, play your damn guitar, or somebody's, or something with strings. Just play. It is what it is. It's, for some of us, probably those of you watching, the spice of life. So, play on, brothers and sisters, and everyone else in the periphery. Not the band, mind you, because I don't care about them. Because I don't know any of the music. Another tangent. I apologize. Till next, you be you. Steve out.